And I realize General Alexander is in Las Vegas, but I'll ask you this question. Last month, he promised to provide me with specific examples of terrorism cases where Section 215 phone records collections have been used. I was led to believe by his answer there are dozens of cases where Section 215 authorities have been critical to the discovery and disruption of terrorist plots. I've now reviewed all the classified material that the NSA sent. I'm far from convinced. The document is classified, but the most open testimony is that Section 215 helped to thwart or prevent 54 terrorist plots. Not by any stretch can you get 54 terrorist plots. How many cases was Section 215 bulk phone records collection critical to preventing a terrorist plot?
Sir, I might answer in open session and then offer to provide follow-up details in a classified session. I would say that the administration has disclosed that there were 54 plots that were disrupted over the life of these two programs.
And Section 215 was critical to preventing.
No, sir.
54 plots?
And of those plots, 13 of those had a homeland nexus. The others had essentially plots that would have come to fruition, Europe, Asia, other places around the world.
How many of those,
the 13,
how many of those 13 were plots to harm Americans?
Of the 13 that would have had a homeland nexus, 12 of those, 215 made a contribution. The question you've asked, though, is more precise in the sense of, is there a but-for case to be made, that but-for 215 those plots would have been disrupted? That's a very difficult question to answer in so much as that's not necessarily how these programs work. That's actually not how these programs work. What happens is that you essentially have a range of tools at your disposal. One or more of these tools might tip you to a plot. Others of these tools might then give you an exposure as to what the nature of that plot is. And finally, the exercise of multiple instruments of power, to include law enforcement power, ultimately completes the picture and allows you to interdict that plot. There is an example amongst those 13 that comes close to a but-for example, and that's the case of Basali Mualim.
I've read that. I've read the material on that. It'd be safe to say the target 54 but-fors.
It is safe to say that, sir.
That's not right.
This capability, the 215 collection of metadata, is focused on the homeland. It's focused on detecting plots that cross the foreign to homeland domain.
But
given that only 13
it wasn't
of those
a but-for in 54 cases.
It was not, sir.
Thank you.
Given that only 13 of those plots had a homeland nexus, it therefore only had its principal opportunity to make a contribution in 13 or less. In fact, it made a contribution to a plot that was disrupted overseas. I think that shows that this actually is looking not simply at the homeland, but it's looking at the foreign homeland nexus.
And I hope we are not mixing up 215 with other sections.
We try hard not to do that, sir. They are distinguished but complementary tools.
Mr. Chairman, if I might